Fear versus intuition. How do we move forward when we don't know what thoughts to trust? Lately, I have found myself in a space of overwhelm and confusion. Life always has a way of doing that to us, right? Everything is going fine, and then slowly things start to creep in, and suddenly we find ourselves in a whirlwind of chaos and emotions. Once we reach that space, it can be hard to earth ourselves back in and to find our center and sense of self again. The rumination and overthinking can render us paralyzed to making choices on how to move forward in our lives. This can be in regards to our work, our passions, our relationships, our spirituality. We find ourselves in a rut that we can't seem to get ourselves out of. When we reach that space, we can't always make sense of what we are feeling, but we know something is hanging over us that needs our attention. But with all the noise, we can find our ability to quiet down and listen to our internal guidance system a real struggle. The chatter in our heads gets so loud that it's hard to distinguish if the choice we want to make is based on a feeling of fear or intuition. Even though they are completely different experiences, they can often feel the same, leaving us more confused than ever, questioning, what does the next step forward really look like for me? Is that nudge we feel our intuition telling us to act, or is fear in the driver's seat? Is our inner critic creating a narrative that leads us to second guess what we actually want to do? Expansion in itself is never easy. All the growth we seek lives outside our comfort zone. The question is, how far do we push it? Is our intuition telling us to retreat because this is not the expansion our soul truly seeks? Or is our fear just making us think that? So often we can feel threatened by the possibility of uncertainty that fear can pull us back from taking the steps we know we need to take. These are the thoughts I have been grappling with lately. Indecision in the darkness. Through the process of experiencing these conflicting emotions, thoughts, and feelings, we can find ourselves in the dark space of indecision, not knowing which way to turn or what choice to make. The longer we stay in this place, the louder those voices can become and the darker it can get. While self-awareness is a powerful tool, it can sometimes be a hindrance. We can go round and round on the Ferris wheel of our emotions, trying to find the truth of a situation and find ourselves returning to the same place without any different outcome. I believe we have a duty to ourselves to look at each situation in our lives from a place of truth and honesty. But sometimes we can spend so long looking at something, trying to find the truth in it, that we don't actually move forward. We can be so concerned with doing the right thing that we end up doing nothing. Sometimes we need to stop and ask ourselves, how long have I been on this ride and is it time to get off? Is it time to make a decision, even if that decision ends up being the wrong one? In the process of moving through these feelings, I have come to realize that the outcome might not be the most important part. I am realizing that it is okay to make a decision and then realize later down the line that it was the wrong one. We always have the power to make a different choice. Whatever decision we do make will be a lesson and a teacher, and growth will come from that experience. Making no decision because of indecision can leave us feeling stagnant and unhappy. The power we seek is in making a choice in the present, and then seeing how we feel about that as we move into the future, checking in as we go. When I feel this way, I always try to remind myself that every decision I make is the best decision I can make at that time with all the information I have. At some point, we just need to trust in our journey, make a choice, and be all in with our decision, whatever the outcome. Taking a look at the competing forces. While moving through any difficult time in my life, I often reach for the tool of tarot as a way to better understand myself in the current situation. The cards often reflect back to me what I am feeling and help me to take an objective look at what I might be missing. Recently, being in this place of indecision and limbo, I reached for my cards to help me navigate through this trying time and came up with a spread to help me make sense of the conflicting feelings I was experiencing. My intention was to see how those two battling forces, intuition and fear, were playing out in my life and how I could use that information to move forward. I'll include the spread below in the hopes that it might help you to bring some clarity if you find yourself not knowing what to do or how to move forward. Tarot spread. Spread positions. 1. What does my intuition feel like? How does my intuition show up in my life? 2. What does my fear feel like? How does my fear show up in my life? 3. How do I find my center within those opposing forces? 4. What is my conscious mind telling me? 5. What is my subconscious mind telling me? Moving through. Whatever crossroads you currently stand at, know that there is no right or wrong choice, only a path ahead of you. Whatever road you take will be full of ups and downs, joys and sorrows. Knowing you chose the right journey for you at that time and giving yourself love and grace if you later regret that choice will help you to stay in the space of personal connectedness and power. If we can stay there, we can always decide to choose again. Be brave, make the choice. I believe in you. BB.